I joined the Mormon Church in 1971 in Vietnam. I was baptized in the South China Sea. The thing that got me was they said that the reason I couldn't believe in Christianity at such a young age was that my spirit knew automatically that the Christian religion had fallen into a state of apostasy, and that Joseph Smith restored the true original church with all the true original teachings. Well, that was very interesting to me, but they didn't tell me some things. There's some things I didn't know until I came back to the United States. When I went back to the United States, I went into my first ward. I was shocked. The very first thing that shocked me was the way they sang. It's like I was walking into a funeral, and that was their idea of singing. I came from the Southern Baptist Church, and when they sang, you could literally hear them a block down the road. I walked in that Mormon church, and I go, oh my land of Goshen. I joined a church full of corpses. Well, over the years, I began to learn what the Mormon missionaries did not tell me. They never tell you the truth to get you to join, because if they did, no one would join that church. They didn't tell me about polygamy. I didn't know a thing about Brigham Young or Joseph Smith and polygamy. Never. They didn't say a word about it in Vietnam. They didn't tell me a thing about blood atonement. You know, if you commit certain sins, you have to pay with it with your own blood. Man, that was horrific when I heard it. You got to be kidding me. Blood atonement, that's your doctrine? Absolutely. And then I found out about this thing about absolute obedience in the church. Never mind the right or wrong. Obey the brethren and the Lord will bless you. I learned about these things in the Mormon church, this thing about absolute, unquestioning obedience. Extremely offensive to me. They told me that in order for me to understand, I'd have to go to the Mormon temple, and there were the great sacred mysteries of the church. Well, I crossed every T and dotted every I, and I got my temple recommend. It took me a while to get it, because I was not an easy person to deal with when I was a younger man. You know, I would let you know what I thought. I wasn't used to people who did not speak their minds. And as a people, Mormons don't speak their mind. They hide in silence. It's like Gordon B. Hinckley said on the Larry King show. In the Mormon church, you can think anything you want. You just can't say anything you want. Boy, was that the truth. And so I finally got that temple recommend, and I went to the Cardston Temple. This was back in 1973 or 4. I'm not exactly sure of the year. And I was shocked. Cutting the throat, disemboweling yourself, the blood oaths that you take in the church. And I remember the very first time I went through the endowment, my own personal endowment, I got to the celestial room, and I'm sitting there, and I look silly as can be. There's a mirror there. The place has got mirrors all over the place. And I'm standing there looking at my reflection. I'm in a Pillsbury Doughboy suit. You know, they got this stupid damn hat on my head. They put this damn silly green apron on me. I looked like the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life, and I didn't hear anything in that endowment that made a lick of sense. Imagine this. The endowment has God giving Adam and Eve 2 commandments. In order to keep one of them, you have to break the other. And if you break that other one, you're damned to death and damned to hell. Now, what kind of a blithering idiot monster God creates that kind of conundrum for their children? You're literally damned if you do, and you're literally damned if you don't. And so I thought I missed something, because they told me, they really told me for the first 2-3 years I was a member of the church, well, if you really want to understand the church, all the mysteries are in the temple, and you'll really understand it. It's really beautiful. And I thought I missed something. So I went back down, got a name for some dead character I'd never heard of in my life. And I did his endowment. I went through another temple endowment. Got to the celestial room. I walked by that mirror, and I'm still in a Pillsbury Doughboy suit, and go, there's nothing inspiring about this. But just to make sure, I spent the whole week going through that temple, looking for the one thing I thought was inspiring. And when that week was done, I came away with a great truth. You want to know what that great truth is? Whatever the Mormon church calls inspiring is bullshit. That began my search, my in-depth study of Mormonism.